Everybody, it's Chris Flipper from On the Bus Sales Training Coaching Consulting, and this is our very first prep class for the December 3rd trade show. And we have just done our 45-second intros, and we are going to start now with a audio chapter from the book on getting more out of trade shows. Here we go.
Chapter 7, Getting More Out of Talks, Trade Shows, and Conferences. This chapter's been edited for COVID-19 2020. So many of you are going to attend or present at trade shows and conferences. Please be memorable, referable, and likable, just like at other networking events. Once in a sales training class, someone said, "Trade shows suck." I replied, "Trade shows don't suck. Maybe you just suck at doing them. And to prove it to you, we're going to have one. And I'm going to teach you all how to get more out of trade shows." Which we did. And now we're scheduled for our 5th and 6th On the Bus Sales Training trade shows. Trade shows don't suck, and neither do our members at doing them, nor will you. Personally, I love trade shows. I find them energetic and fascinating. But then again, I like infomercials and the science behind shopping in general. To be honest, I've never attended a VTS virtual trade show, but we're about to have one on December 4th, 2020. Can't wait. I've been attending trade shows as long as I can remember and exhibiting for at least the last 30 years. Granted, not in the previous few years because now I host trade shows and I really can't do both well. When I was at my peak doing trade shows, I was inventing professionally and had a hardwall booth made by my old friend Penny Mulford, whom I met through another trade show and networking friend, Hamp Hampton, and that's how it all works. On a big level, trade shows can be like gypsies with a moving community, kind of like deadheads on tour with all the touring vendors. A trade show at its best is a community, an island of commerce, Shakedown Street for those in the know. You get gypsies, one-time vendors, shoppers, plate lickers, all types. It's a community where reputations can be built and shattered. It's a community where you may all be busy at one time, where some are busier than others, or where some or all are not busy enough. When picking a trade show for you to exhibit at in the future, maybe walk them first. Go to them and kind of check out the traffic flow. And think about where your booth would be and who you'd want to meet, and why you would do it. There are lots of books on trade shows. You no doubt already know that by staffing, body language, booth location, accessible power, giveaways, and a reason for being there are vital elements. I'm not going to go over any of that right now. I'm just going to cut to the chase and give you my tips for getting the most out of group experiences such as trade shows, talks, and conferences. When done right, trade shows are a ton of work, before, during, and after. Think it through, starting with how are you going to bring traffic to your booth? Don't rely on the show to get traffic to your booth, that's gravy. You have some control here. Make your booth a destination and the show, an event for you and your prospects. How will you follow up? Do you have a system for managing new contacts' contact information? How many meetings can you take and still be a presence in your booth? Work on your invitation. Maybe announce a new product introduction or have a news release at the show. I can't stress this enough. More people will see your invitation than come to the show, so really give this a lot of focus. Many of the connections that you can make are when setting up and breaking down. Don't break down early, ever. It's not fair to the community. Be helpful. If your booth is set up, ask somebody if they could use some help. When at a show, be on all the time. You never know who you'll meet on the airplane, cab, elevator, bathroom, lunch line, wherever. Everyone at a trade show is a center of influence for you. Trade shows are networking on steroids, and you're allowed to sell. That's why we're there. Assume that 10% of the people you are inviting will be coming to the show. That means that 90% will not, but will see your invitation. Even if it's just an email, it's important to bring traffic to the show, but even more critical to the 90% that don't come to learn more about you and your growth. Put your next show in your email signature and maybe in your outgoing voicemail. Promote it. Be proud. Set up meetings at the show ahead of time. When at the show, set up appointments for after the show, obviously. Who are you going to have meals with? The most important day of any trade show is the day after, the follow-up day. Why go to a show or networking event if you aren't going to follow up? Schedule for follow-up and have a follow-up system. You're going to come back with a ton of cards if all goes well. I always rated cards 1 through 5, which indicated the priority of following up. Some shows I'd come back with 300 cards and maybe 20 of them were rated a 5. The first day back, 20 FedEx packages went out with product information, samples, and a letter based on our talk at the show to the 5s. Trade shows are networking on steroids and you can sell. That's why we're there. I was doing a 4-day show in Vegas, and the last day was generally slow. I also had an article in Entrepreneur magazine that they wanted a picture for, so I had them come to the booth on the 4th day, creating a stir at the end of the show. How will you get your name out there at the show? Can you advertise somewhere? Perhaps the show has a trade publication. What giveaways are you going to have? I always like bags. The bigger the better, as people will use them to carry the other stuff, and everyone will see your logo or booth location. When giving talks, always have a hook or a reason for doing it. Be staffed right. Often when speaking, there is a table you are given for books or CDs you might be selling. If so, someone needs to be there to sell them for you. When given the opportunity to do a trade show or give a talk, get excited. Make the most of it, and please do the follow-up. Or why do it? It's all too much work not to follow up. Happy selling, and trade shows don't suck, nor will you. Be great and have fun. Talks, conferences, and lectures virtually or in person. If you want pandemics to be a barrier or an excuse between you and success, they will be. If you can view this time as an opportunity to thrive, then you will. Deal with the cards you're dealt and thrive. Never wing a talk unless you know your material. Have a way of collecting contact information and understand what you're going to do with it. I always like building a list for future invites. You could have a raffle or capture contact information when people sign up. Start building a list with the right number of touches for you and them. Know why you're giving the talk and always have a hook of some type. Some type of offer, and always really ask for a referral.
All right. Anita, do you want to say hello to everyone and let us know who you are and what you do? You have to unmute. You have to unmute. You still have to unmute.
Oh, got it. Okay. Hello again. I'm Anita. I'm with Fitness Knocking. We're a mobile personal training service that comes to you whether you have time in the morning or time in the night. We make fitness fun and convenient, and we take the stress out of getting healthy.
Okay. And what are your hours and general location?
Okay. Our hours are anytime that you're available. We'll be there for you. But you can call us. Sorry, I don't know the number off the top of my head. Our general location is, I'll put it in the chat. Is that
But
okay?
your geographic footprint is primarily New Jersey, right?
Yes.
Okay. And if I recall, you guys will come to people's homes or offices before between 5 a.m. and 11 p.m. or something crazy.
Right.
That.
So, yeah, we're there for you in the morning or night. It depends on the person's schedule. So we're a mobile training service, and we come to you.
And what different types of workouts could they expect? Could it be Zumba or kickboxing or yoga? What is it?
Okay. So we're a good fit for someone who doesn't like a big box gym. So we'll work with you where you're at and help you reach your goals. So specifically regarding the training, it could be anywhere from getting flexible or focus on strength training, because strength training, and I'm not talking about lifting a huge amount of weight, but just building up your muscle mass building the bone density, just so folks can complete their daily activities in life. That's what it's all about. So we could like pick up the poop when we're walking our dog. We could walk up the stairs with ease. We can walk down the stairs with ease. We could do independent things. So that's really our focus. When I say get healthy, it's not about being skinny. It's more about, you know, meeting folks where they're at to help them reach their goal, and, you know, help them find what's getting them stuck with not getting healthy and reaching their healthy goals.
All right. Thank you for being here.
All right. Thank you.
We all just listened to the chapter from the book. Clearly, when I wrote the book, it was pre-pandemic because I hadn't been to a virtual trade show yet. And we're about to have our sixth. That's kind of exciting on some levels, that we've gotten very good at doing these. Most of you have been to our shows before and have done them before. Actually, I don't know that. And have you been before? You can just nod because you're muted. You're moving around a lot. Yes, you have. Okay. And David, you obviously have. Kurt, you've come as an attendee.
That's right.
And Meredith has no clue what to expect and how much fun she's going to have. And she's our sponsor. And that's interesting and exciting. So I think that the part of the book, why it's worth listening to, is so much of this remains the same, right? That so much of it is, now the giveaways at the booths, you're not going to be able to put in a bag, so we're not going to need a bag to have as a giveaway, right? But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't have a giveaway, that you shouldn't have a raffle. I think the important part, and David can attest to this, is you need to be able to capture information from people quickly. So whether you're in your booth or you're presenting, traffic tends to come in waves, right? Now, this is a condensed show that we're going to have on December 3rd. It's only from, 2 to 5. It's 3 hours. And then we have a half hour of networking from 5 to 5:30. So in those 3 hours, I expect 200 people at the show. And if there's, let's say, 15 booths, maybe there's 10, maybe there's 20, I don't know yet. That's a lot of people that can come visit your booth. We're going to have 3 different presentation rooms going. You're going to get interrupted. You need to be able to bob and weave and capture information and evaluate quickly how important this prospect is. Not that anyone's not important, because we never know who they know. All right. But you need to be able to, if somebody came in right now, I need to be able to pause and say, "Hi, Anita, welcome. I'm so glad you came today. Why don't you tell us what you do real quick?" And then get back on the course, kind of thing. You need to be able to do that if they come into your booth. That's also why it's important to be staffed correctly, because somebody can chat with the person, or you could have a breakout room, right? David's been to shows where we were selling additional rooms as a breakout room where you could have a private meeting with someone. So there are options that we can do here. But I just want you to think of that. The important thing for this, and the reason partially why you're here, and we're going to have the check-in on the 18th, is it is not my job solely to bring traffic. It is our job. Okay? The members that I have picked to invite to exhibit at these trade shows are people that I feel will be interesting to the attendees and will help bring attendees. You need to bring at least 10 people each. I'll bring 100 people on my own. If you guys can bring another 100, that's 200 people. Everybody's going to be happy. Okay? Our numbers are very interesting. The average stay of attendees is up to 203 minutes. That's a long time for somebody to come to a show. Most people will say, "I'm just here for 10 minutes. I want to check it out." 2 hours later, they're still here and they've canceled all their appointments, for the rest of the day. They're having too much fun. That's the kind of stuff that happens here. So when you invite people, I think it's fair to let them know what to expect, right? To say, don't plan on just coming for 15 minutes. You're going to cheat yourself. You're going to want to stay longer. You're going to want to visit the other booths. Have a reason for them to come to your booth. Have a giveaway. Promote it. David Quick, I am sure that you are going to give a stellar presentation on something geeky, on something IT related, either it's cybersecurity or whatever it is. You're going to promote that. But why not also have a raffle for a free evaluation of your network, right? So you can collect business cards. And I know and you know that you would give everybody a free evaluation, but they don't know that, right? So everybody can win. Or somebody could give, Thrive could give away an iPad or a free website. Who knows? I'm just throwing out ideas. But if you have a raffle or a giveaway, there's a reason to come to your booth, right? Fitness Knocking certainly would do some kind of evaluation, I'm sure. Kurt, I don't know what you want to give away some Bitcoin? That'd be very generous of you.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, I have to be pretty careful with what I give away.
Okay, just throwing it out there. There needs to be a reason, a draw for them to come to your booth. And the difference between being virtual and live is they're not just going to wander by. So we have to look at things like how you're listed in the directory and how your presentation's titled. Okay? Because that's what's going to bring people in. What they will see when they come in, and so just to give you, here's a lay of the land and what it looks like from an attendee's standpoint. And it's very hard to capture this on video or anywhere else. So they will come in, I will bring them in and greet them and say, hi, how are you? Who invited you? And they'll say Lois from Fitness Knocking, or whoever it might be, or Meredith from Thrive. And I'll say, terrific. She's in booth 7, but can I start you in our greeting room? And they'll say yes. And I put them in the greeting room. And that's a room where there's a video explaining how to work the show. What buttons to push will get you where and how to see who's where, all that kind of stuff. And then they'll jump out and they might go to the directory room. They might go to the presentation schedule room to see who's presenting, right? Or they might just go straight to your booth. So they will already have a lay of the land when they come in. That's going to take them probably 5 minutes, 10 minutes to get situated and in. Everybody must have the most up-to-date app. So when you invite people, make sure they know that you have to have the latest and greatest version of Zoom. That's important. They won't be able to manipulate the show as well if they don't. We have 2 tech support rooms with live people that can help people. But the answer is always they haven't updated their app and they need to reboot and come back in. And we talk them through that. We actually had a blind person at the last show, and that was interesting to help them. And we also had a lot of people from India at the last show, which was interesting. And they stayed till the end. It was 5 in the morning. They were still there. It was amazing. Any questions so far? Okay. So something to think about is what you want your booth title to be. And sometimes your name is not the answer, because not everybody may not know what Thrive is. I want you to think about, if you're presenting, and you don't have to, but by being exhibitors, you have the option to, what you would like the title of your talk to be. Keeping in mind, and I'll screen share this again, just so you can see, this is what, wrong button. Stop share. Let's try that again. Screen share, that one. Something doesn't seem to be right. One more time. Let's try that again. Am I still sharing? There it is. Can you see that? Presentation schedule? Okay.
Yep.
So there's not a lot of room there. So that's what people see. And this is what I suggest you promote with and send to people as well. We do have our tickets and our flyers with the link embedded. I'll send that to all of you after the meeting. Okay. I can show you what that looks like too, if you want to see it. Hold on. Can you guys see this?
It didn't change.
It didn't change. Oh, I have to stop share and go back. Hold on. And then share again. Eventually I'll learn how to do this stuff. Here we go. Okay, so these are the tickets here. And this is our flyer with a sign up link there. Okay, looks good. I'll send this to all of you and you can then send it out. Okay, so the point also made in the book that if you want 10 people to come, you're probably going to have to send this to 1,000 people. The value of doing that is the 990 people that aren't going to come, but they're going to see the flyer and they're going to know you're doing something cool. And they're going to know you still exist and you've made it through the pandemic and you're alive and well. And it's what's known as a touch. Some people say it takes 7 touches to make a sale. It's a touch, but let them know you're doing something cool. And they're invited and there's no charge. You know, come learn more about Bitcoin. No charge. Come learn more about cybersecurity. What to do if you do get hacked. No charge. Okay, just a thought. The reason we do the 30-second intros in the beginning is that way you can tell people who else is exhibiting. Unfortunately, and I should tell you the list. I'll tell you the list now of who we have so far. We have David Quick, Total Cover IT, Jeannie from I Dream a Genie, who is going to probably be talking about ID Seal. She owns 6 companies, so it's hard to say. Karen Lee, who's the Narrative Big 5, and that is a platform for personality traits. She also does a lot of HR type stuff, and she gives a wonderful talk on managing the X, Y, and Z generation. Marco, who is our graphic artist and can work with any of you that might need help with a virtual background and made our flyers. He's giving a talk on, he just emailed it to me. I'm sorry, I don't have it memorized, but he's working with a copywriter and they're doing something that'll have brand awareness type of thing. We do have a 501c3, which is Sustainability Brain Trust, and they're wonderful in trying to do different things to save the planet. And that is my donated booth. Julia Welk, who is a WordPress type. I think she's joining us. We're not totally sure, but she can fix broken WordPress sites basically, and she's pretty terrific. Danelle is similar to Fitness Knocking, and she is a fitness company, and she's giving a talk on maintaining through the holidays. Thrive, obviously, we're going to make a big deal out of, and we're going to have lounges with their logos and other logoed areas, and we're going to do some other stuff with them. Gilbert from I can't remember he's the LinkedIn guy, so he's going to be talking to us about LinkedIn. David Quick, what's the name of Gilbert's company? AGM?
Abraham.
Okay.
It's Abraham.
Yeah.
Global.
But anyway,
Abraham
Gilbert,
Global.
He's the best LinkedIn guy I know, and he's wonderful. And we'll give a talk on getting more out of LinkedIn, Fitness Knocking. Anita, any idea what you guys are going to do? Are you going to give a class?
Good question. I have to check with Lois. I'm really not sure what's happening.
All right. In the past, they've given some kind of chair yoga and some other things, and it's been well attended. Lois,
Lois. Yeah, that sounds like we'll probably do something along those lines.
It's always fun. It's always good. And then we have Kurt, of course. I saw you did. What's your talk? You just put it in the text. I saw it in the chat.
Yeah. Taking up on your Bitcoin part, and there's a limit to what can be discussed about that. And then also I mentioned ESG investing. What are they and how can you use them?
Okay. And what is ESG?
It's environmental, social, and governmental investing. It's sort of social benefit type, looking for companies that are benefiting or making investments based on those three topics. It's sort of a little bit like political investing of sorts.
All right, Kurt, you got to remember the audience, these are entrepreneurs and they've got the attention span of a gnat. And I don't know if ESG is going to grab them by title.
Gotcha.
So, but you could say environmental investing or government investing or something like that. But if they don't know the lingo, they're not going to know.
Gotcha.
So be careful of buzzwords and that kind of stuff. And then last, we have Tom Langdon, who does not want to be introduced as a videographer because he's much more than that. But what he is going to be talking about is how you can make your Zoom presentations better, the sound better, the backgrounds better, all of that kind of stuff. Okay? So that's pretty much it. I need you to send me the titles of your presentations, the time slot you think you would like. I don't recommend the first half hour or the last half hour. You will need coverage in your booth. And you need to invite people. More importantly, we need people to come. The only way this becomes a bad show is if we have no traffic. Right? But you're still networking with each other. But again, it's not my job to bring the traffic. It's our job. We are gypsies working together. The common goal is a great show on December 3rd. And because it's virtual, weather's not an issue, parking's not an issue. We've taken all the issues away. All right? And when you invite people, maybe also let them know they don't have to stay the whole time. They can come and go as they please. Because sometimes people think, oh, it's from 2 to 5. I can't do 3 hours. And it's 3 minutes. It's whatever they want. Okay. Any questions?
No.
David Quick, you're being very quiet. I know this is like your 7th show, but any questions? Any feedback for everyone else?
In particular, invite, because I invited like 800 people. I think about like a half a dozen showed up.
Great. But that's in that 1% range. That's about right. Okay. So if you want 10 people to come, you got to invite 1,000. Hopefully I'm wrong, and hopefully it's more. But think of your LinkedIn list. It also gives you something interesting to talk about when you go to BNI or wherever you're networking. Invite your BNI group. Why wouldn't they come? Why wouldn't they want to support small business owners at a time like this? Right? If they ask for what's the theme of the show, small business owners, typically in the Northeast. Okay. So our next meeting, it's on the calendar, I believe is December 18th from 2 to 4. There will be more of you here then, and you can meet with them. Okay. We good?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you all for coming.
Grand. Thank you, Chris.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you. Goodbye.